Alright, for the next two techniques, we are going to do dry brush and scumbling. Alright, dry brush is just what it says. If you've ever done dry brush before with watercolor or another technique, you want a really dry brush. It's the term dry brush. And then you're going to get a color. I'm going to do yellow over the top. So we want something kind of different, or you can do something similar. Alright, again, when you're doing this, you want to kind of make it to where it kind of looks, we're just not flopping stuff on. And then you want to take probably really a piece of paper, but I'm going to take my palette and kind of rub the paint in, and then you want to kind of pull the bristles apart. I'm going to take the back of this, and you might want to kind of test it. So the idea is to get a little bit of paint, the dry brush, and then you want to kind of go over the top. And I don't know how well you can kind of see this. I may have to go a little, you can see it a little bit on there. All right, I'm going to have to add a little bit more paint, so I'm going to kind of dry it in. I think I got a little bit too much off. I'm going to kind of work it in the brush, and then I'm going to try to flip it a little bit and kind of give a texture over the top of this. So again, we want to kind of work with it. That's the whole idea of these techniques. So if you looked at a flower, you know how they kind of have those lines in there. So that's what we'll kind of do with this one. I know some of these colors aren't realistic, but that's okay. So just kind of a dry brush over the top of that. I'm kind of flipping it and going up and around. All right, so that's the dry brush technique. Really good for like textures, wood textures, even petal textures, anytime you see small lines. All right, the next technique is called scumbling. This one's not hard, but you got to think a little bit. So I'm going to use a different brush for that. I would not use your bigger brush, so we're going to use a smaller. Scumbling is kind of the overlapping of a lot of different similar colors. This is an impressionistic technique that Impressionists use. So you're going to take one color, and I'll go over a black and white area here. And you want to kind of go either in dashes, and it doesn't have to be thick, or it can be, okay? Van Gogh kind of used this technique, but he used it with the impasto. And you can dash a little bit, or you can dab. I'll do a couple different ways. Or you can do dots like pointillism. Then you add in another color. So I'm going to introduce a yellow-green. So I'm just going to mix it. You don't have to get a green. You can mix it. All right, now what I'm going to do is do the same technique, but kind of let some of the yellow show through. So I'm going to keep going over that. So I'll do that there, and then I do the same thing with kind of the dabs. But again, you want some of that color, and as it's wet, it mixes. And then I'm going to add another color. So you really want to get about at least four different colors or values of a certain color, and kind of go back and forth. And then what happens is when you pull away from it, it kind of blends into itself. So you got to kind of be strategic. Again, this is where you want things to kind of look aesthetically pleasing. So I'm going to add some blue-green in here now and just keep going over. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and speed this up and show you what this looks like. Fill the whole petal for this one.